Hi there, I'm Dalton Reer. I'm a Master Principal Solution Architect here at Qlik, and today I'm excited to be sharing part of my video series on Qlik and Snowflake Cortex, and this is numero uno in terms of sharing how Qlik can work with your Cortex agents. In this video, I'm going to be showing you what is possible as part of this partnership. So first of all, I want to help you understand with Snowflake Intelligence, they offer Cortex agents. In my series that I did before this one about Qlik and Snowflake Cortex AI SQL, I walked you through what was crazy cool about the fact that they provide SQL wrappers around AI functionality that'll let you to enhance your data with AI without needing to have data scientists and do all kinds of crazy Python coding or whatever. Well, in this series, I'm going to be showing you how they kicked it up a notch with a more agentic approach. Now you're able to ask natural language questions via large language models of your choice, and they construct a SQL query behind the scenes to return the results from your question. You can even add external functionality via custom tools. So if you needed to get a result or do anything extra with the data from the results, you can before the results are returned back to the user. The heart of the operation goes through a semantic view that you create, which describes the data set, the relationship between tables, facts, dimensions, metrics, lots of goodies that help you identify the truth in the data. Their open semantic interchange, OSI, is a really powerful and vital part of how they do this. It is so key to the industry as a whole that's why Qlik has partners with them to support the movement. You can have concatenated key relationships and powerful metric expressions even across tables. There's no just simple, hey, give me the sum of this field limitations with this, which is why I really love this thing. The fact that it sits on top of a large language model of your choice means that you can now seriously ask natural language questions like, who are our top 10 frequent flyers? It understands that your data set is about healthcare data, and it understands in a healthcare setting, it means you want to know which patients have the most encounters. Once that's been established, it goes to the semantic view and says, hey, buddy, old pal, where do I get patient and encounter information from? How do those tables relate? If there's a metric for encounter count, help me with that. Then it goes and constructs the SQL and returns the results to your end users. You gotta love that, right? Well, I know what you're thinking. I sure wish I could integrate that functionality within my Qlik applications. Well, stop hoping and start celebrating because you can. Snowflake provides a RESTful API interface to their agents that allows Qlik to talk to those semantic views that are surfaced through Cortex agents. Qlik supercharges that process because any filters you make within your application can be applied to the question. So when the user says, hey, who are our top 10 frequent flyers? Behind the scenes, Qlik surfaces those filters and really passes along who are our top 10 frequent flyers for the hospital that's selected, the patients taking the medication you selected, the day of the week that you selected, the month that you selected, etc. That's all added to the question. So they're going to get the answer to the question they ask, assuming those filters, because that's what they assume within the Qlik environment. Everything is responsive to filters throughout our associative model. Many times there might be additional fields that Snowflake prepares as part of the execution of the query. And guess what? You can surface all of that information. Yes, I showed you the bar chart, but here's the other information that's behind there, because sometimes they give you these additional information because you might want to ask the next question. Oh, well, this guy had 115. When did he start? When was his last one? How long ago was his last one? Whatever might be there, we can show you all that information. Think it can't get any cooler? Oh, it can. That information that's coming back from the Snowflake Cortex agent is put into our associative engine. And the big win for you, giddy up, is that you can interact with those results to see any other piece of information you desire. So not only can I see who those frequent flyers are, when their first encounter was, when their last encounter was, I can see everything about every one of their encounters. I would be able to see all of their medications, all the conditions, all the immunizations, all the devices that they might have as part of their body. I want to see the care plans. I want to see allergies. I want to see. And that's what you love about Qlik Sense in the first place, right? The fact that we can bring all of that data together and let your end users access it for the next question that comes up. Well, last but not least, I want to let you know that as part of what you can do with that data, you could show your users the SQL that was used to construct the query. That's right. That way they can double check to see just how their question was interpreted based on what the LLM and what the semantic view delivered. Oh shoot, there were nuances to the question that they forgot to share. It was in their head. They just didn't type it as part of the question. So now they simply ask again and share more context. Who are our top 10 frequent flyers for the emergency room visits that did not leave without being seen? Right? They could have filtered to those things, but maybe they are just automatically in their dashboard assume that's what's there and that we present. But when they ask the question, they forgot that context. One of the really neat things is that when you're doing this through Snowflake Intelligence, through their UI, you get to see the entire chain of thought. Here's what I think is going to happen. Oh, wait, nope, that wasn't going to work. Yep, now let me try this way. Nope, that's not going to work. Let me try it this way. Okay, here's what I believe we're doing. Well, guess what? That entire chain of thought, that thought process it goes through, can all be part of the Qlik data model. So if you're thinking, well, my users don't know SQL, they're not going to be able to know whether things were nuanced, that's okay. Why not just go ahead and surface that thought process in English? Like, this question is asking for patients with the most encounters, blah, 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 blah. And they could read what the thought was that went into it to recognize, ooh, man, there were nuances to this. I hadn't thought about it. Oh, okay, stop it. That's just, it's just too cool. We can't do more. Well, it can get better in one more way. What about environments where you might have billions and billions and billions of rows of data that maybe you can't load into Qlik? Oh, sure, I loaded all, the millions of patients, the millions of encounters, the hundreds of millions of this, the hundreds of millions of that. But what if I got 15 years of claim history, 20 years of pharmacy history, 99,000 years of retail transaction history? It's not a problem because Cortex Agent is talking to the data that's in your data warehouse or data mart based on the semantic view right where it is. Right? You've built those warehouses, you've built those marts so that you could potentially do research on it. The hard part is, man, I just don't know how to write the query that's going to do this in a performant way. Well, now you can. With these Cortex agents and Snowflake Intelligence, you could write the questions on top of that. So if somebody inside the Qlik environment were to say, hey, what patient ever had a claim for this and that and the other thing, but only on the Thursdays, Tuesdays of the month afternoon and was taking ABC medications at the time? That query just goes along right to the Cortex agent, doesn't care what data is in memory within Qlik, asks it, returns the results. And maybe it comes back and gives you the patients, or maybe you ask for the claim IDs for the patient that had that. Well, fantastic. We will surface that information up in the result. Those results come back. They're part of the associative model like I showed you. Well, now you can filter to one and use our on-demand or dynamic view functionality that Qlik provides to pull that information live out of Snowflake. So those billions and billions and billions or trillions of rows of data that you have that you're using Snowflake because you can scale up to be able to get results out of that kind of thing, guess what? We'll surface that information for you live so that you could then see and ask your next questions about those things, or have those, ooh, yep, I see that they had this claim. Here was the claim where they did this, the claim where they did that, and you'll get all the information. Helping you solve these really hard problems like that is exactly why Qlik is a launch partner now with Snowflake for this game-changing Cortex agent functionality. Once you're done doing your happy dance, feel free to sit down and get another cup of coffee, grab another Mountain Dew, and be sure to watch the next video in this series where I'm going to show you how this is working in action. Have a great day.